Hey, it's Joe Grotesque from Retro Cynical and the Generation Rad family on YouTube and VidMe. I want to talk about something that really brings me back to my childhood, more specifically to elementary school and the book fair. This is one of the very first things I ever picked up from a book fair, and it just happens to be video game related and reading related, and that's Nintendo Strategies. Now this little book is so cool, even my Uncle Terry likes it. It's fantastic. So without further ado, why don't we take a look at it? Now let's get started by taking a good look at the cover there. You can't beat those old marker and colored pencil illustrations from back in the day. Well, that wasn't really a thing, it just happens to be that on this cover. And what is the deal with Link right there? Something's not quite right about him. Well, that's artistic interpretation for you. Now this book was published by Publications International in 1989, around the same time Nintendo Power came out. But I gotta say, this is probably the first strategy guide that I got outside of Nintendo Power. So let's take a look inside. Right off the bat, we've got some pretty cool tips and tricks for bases loaded of all games. And Bionic Commando, one of my personal faves. There's Blaster Master. Bubble Bobble, can't go wrong with some tips and tricks for that. This was actually really helpful with that game. Bump and Jump. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. Yeah, without a strategy guide, when you were a kid playing this game, it was next to impossible to figure out all the cryptic stuff. Gunsmoke, a Capcom classic. Iron Tank. And of course The Legend of Zelda, which you really needed help with that. And Life Force. So I don't really want to spoil the whole thing for you. If you can go on eBay and find you a copy relatively cheap, I recommend picking it up. It's pretty darn cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little literary stroll down memory lane. Back to you, Marcus.